Hey, this is Ian Onyego, and welcome to today's podcast. Yeah, so this is the Accountability and Growth Podcast. Today I got myself this. This is what we'll be rocking today. Also happen to have Adobe. Right by me. Mm-mm-mm. I don't know about you. But life is just good. I don't know about you, but life is just so good. Earlier on this year, and I can remember it so vividly. Earlier on this year, I started out so badly. If it were anybody else, and I'm not trying to imply that I'm special or something, but if it were anybody else, this would have turned out to be the worst year. The worst. Based on how I started it. I had no job. Expenses kept on piling. I almost got depressed. But as you know, there's nothing like depression out there. There ain't such thing as depression out there. But either way, everything is turning out to be beautiful. So this is how things went. Over the past 3 years, have been a writer. The writing business that I had was what used to take care of my bills. And everything. But there came a time when everything started going downhill for my business. This was the time when AI was introduced into the market or into the industry. At first, I didn't want to give up so easily. So I kept going. Even after the rollouts kept coming out, I kept going, I kept bidding for jobs, I kept interacting with prospective clients online. But the harder I went on my hustle, or on that hustle, the clearer it became that I was doing something wrong. Because unlike the past, every hook I threw out to the sea in hopes of coming back with a job offer, never actualized. Never did. At this time, I started panicking. But I'm grateful for the friends I have. Because they helped me big time. Big time. But anyway, that's a story for another day. Even though I didn't want to give up on the job hunting, because online writing pays good money. It really pays some good money. So even though I didn't want to accept it, I was forced to. And then one morning, as I was opening my laptop, reality hit me that I was chasing after the market. That is a position you don't want to find yourself in at any point of your life. You don't want to be chasing the market. That thing gave me sleepless nights. Made me fucking anxious. It was like I didn't have my shit together. So, as you guessed, I quit the writing job and decided to pursue other things. And the first problem I encountered after quitting that job is that I didn't have a flow of cash flow. Didn't have money to buy me food. Didn't have money to pay for my internet. Didn't have money to invest. In fact, I didn't even have money to start any new venture, because I had previously been hunting for jobs for like 3 months without getting any new gig. You can imagine how frustrating that shit was. But ever since we came to this place, I have been sitting on gold. Without knowing it. Better said, I can say it's like I've been a beggar sitting on gold, on a heap of gold, without realizing it. There's a piece of land just behind this wall that has been idle since we came here in 2006. Without wasting time, man, I decided to go into farming, or to get into farming. first, the aim was to produce my own food. The aim was to produce my own food. I remember I mobilized my friends, bought the materials needed. We fenced the area, the piece of land. Take a look at the photos. We fenced the area. And immediately the fence was up. That was the game changer. Now, my venturing into farming wasn't, I didn't complicate things. I usually say, okay, it's necessary before you venture into farming. Okay, let me put it in another way. Before you venture into farming, there are things that you must do. It is a must that you do them if you want to maximize on your yield or on your production. The first thing is soil testing. You need to know the pH of your soil. You need to know the nutrients present in your soil. You need to know the nutrients that are deficient in your soil. You also need to know the kind of pests that have infested your soil so that you can treat it. By knowing these things, you're able to choose wisely on the kind of crop that you're going to be investing into, and ultimately you are surely gonna have some of the best products that people have ever seen or people will ever set their eyes on. But for me at that time it was kind of too expensive. And I knew that cost something like 2,000 shillings. But at that time, it was damn expensive for me. So I decided to do it the traditional way. I just found land. I decided to go ahead and do farming. So what I did, went, bought Sukuma Wiki seedlings, the suckers, came, planted them. Round one, all of them died. All of them died. I remember nilibaki na something like 10, and those 10 zilikuwa bezenye kulikuwa na shade. Round 2 again, nikaenda nikanunua just like the first time, the same amount, the same everything. Just as you guessed, they all died again. Mind you, I'm in a rush against time. Because I have expenses that need to be taken care of. And I have bills that are piling. But round 3, before I did it, I corrected my mistake, the mistake that was holding me back. You see, seedlings, okay, sukuma wiki suckers, they require a lot of care. They need to be planted in soil that retains water, doesn't lose water easily. They need to be planted in soil that is well aerated, so that the roots can easily grow and penetrate the soil. So round 3, when I brought them, I decided to mulch all of them, and guess what? Roughly like 85% of those suckers zilishika, and up to now, that is where I get my money from. Now you can see the shift that I created from living, let me say, it's not accurate, but let me just say a beggar life of not being sure where my money is gonna come from, to being knocked at the door. From no value to value. Mind you, because the piece of land had been bare for a very long time, kulikuwa tuna bushes, like people are not, hakukuwa na mtu mwenye alikuwa interested kulima hapo or ku put it into use. So I say there was a lady who had a kiosk just outside our gate. The lady, she dealt with groceries, so you can imagine all the spoiled tomatoes and stuff like that. She used to throw them in that piece of land. People from where I stay, all their garbages, kama ni hizo manyanya, manini, makaratasi, they used to dump them there. So yes, mi nilifanya job, nikakusanya hizo mauchafu zote. It was hectic by the way, but nilikusanya hizo mauchafu zote nikazichoma, but the reward enye nilitoa hapo man, oh man, reward enye nilitoa hapo hata mimi mwenyewe sikuamini. Like venye hiyo shamba ililimwa, hizo mambegu za hizo manyanya zilikuwa zinatupwa hapo, zote zilijikusanya chini ya mchanga and they grew. I got a lot of tomato seedlings. Lots of tomato seedlings. In fact, there are others zenye hata nilingoa nikatupa, because spare section in this shamba, nika eka like 100 seedlings za nyanya. Na kuna zile zenye zilikuwa zimemea everywhere kwa shamba, niliamua ning'oe kidogo, niache zingine zile zenye zilikuwa zinakaa like ziko healthy. And so that is what I did. Na you won't believe it, nyanya zenye nilitoa hapo I ended up selling them for 3 good months. Now suddenly, out of nowhere, I have some small chums to sort out my expenses. That felt so accomplishing. It felt so accomplishing. Like, I remember kuna nyanya zingine zenye hata I couldn't even hold 2 of them kwa mkono. It was so big, bigger than even a capsicum. And this is the reality that I want to create. Right now, as we speak, that piece of land that people used to dump garbage into, nacheki tu madhe ameamka ngware out of nowhere, amefunga maleso nini, mate zimejaa hadi huku, ndio na mamaji za ugali mixed na machai na ma everything, ndio ametupa huko ndani. Man, right now that is where I get my dough from. It's not like I did anything special. But now, the same place where they used to dump garbage into is the same place where I get products and sell to them. I love everything about it because everything about it has changed this year's perspective. I didn't expect it to go this way. And now, that is the reality that I'll keep on creating for myself. The next place I'm renovating is my rooftop, so that I can have my own food and have surplus for everybody. Loves the smell of money. You could also do it. You don't need to start farming. You don't need to do what somebody else did. You can do whatever it is you want to do. You're free to. You're free to, my nigga. The greatest lesson I've learned from all this is that we shouldn't be resistant to life. That's just how it is. You could be there sogging deep in your pity party, complaining about why things shouldn't be how they are. Oh, this shouldn't be happening to me. Oh, man, you gotta style up. You gotta style up. Everything is as it should be. Nothing is here to please you. Nobody is here to please you. You're the only one. Who's responsible for creating the kind or the reality that you've always wanted for yourself. You just need to make the first step. And then after that, make the next step. Then after that, make the subsequent steps. Next, we're gonna be installing the vertical gardens, the ones that you saw in my previous YouTube video, the ones that you saw. I'm gonna be installing them to Yano, my friend. You can see the ripple effect that it's creating. Man, you don't know. So, it's just by showing up. It's all it takes. A little bit of sacrifice here, a little bit of sacrifice there. And lo and behold, the reality that you've always dreamed of. Then from there, you could start thinking about bigger things. But as at now, you need to start with the basics. accept where you are. Kona do, hauna do, so kubali sina do. Or are you just complicating things? Life is gonna be so much easier, so much smoother. If you just accept. Yes, you're gonna have to do something that people are gonna have to question, like, is this guy getting out of his mind? Or yeah, so just do it. So what if the equation? Sijui niseme, like, inafikanga point where ni all about haribu jina ndio ujenge jina. Don't get me wrong, it's not like namaanisha sasa wewe ndio ingie crime ama nini. Inaingia works. Mi at first kutokea Ngware ati saa nimeamka 6 ndio hiyo nimeingia shamba naenda kulima. Ilikuwa so hard. But after the first 2 weeks of kutokea tu, hata sikuamini. Like hata huwezi amini. Like nilikuwa tu na flow. Na mind you, naamka kwenda kumwagilia hizo sukuma maji. Because they need a lot of water. Na sukuma nazo unazipatia maji ngware kabisa. Hata si sukuma pekee, any plant, kama ni watering. Hiyo ni shughuli ya asubuhi kabisa ama very late in the evening. Na maybe 9 in the evening, si ati unaweza nipata. In the evening, I have better things to do. So hiyo ni shughuli nakuanga nimeachia Ngware. So ilikuwa hectic unaamka na hiyo baridi, plus unajiongezea baridi. But nilifika tu na nikaanza kuflow. So inakuanga like it seems hard. Ni juu tu hapa in your headbox wewe ndio umeamua ikuwe hard. So quit your resistance, tokea, ingia works, start getting the tunes, because that is all we are after. And it's been a beautiful morning. Thank you for watching. Let me go take a stroll. in my farm.